Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are going to talk about many different things today. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be like a car swerving down the road. We're not going to hit anything, but we're all over the place. Yeah, it's all good. But I guarantee you will have a takeaway in some regard. You'll start thinking deeper after we have this conversation. And we're having that with somebody who helps couples, individuals with therapy all the time. Many different things, many different realizations, really essentially for whatever you're dealing with. She's an amazing psychologist, and she's got a number of books. This one's my favorite. They're all great. Love Yourself, Love Your Life. And we're going to not talk about one particular topic. I'm going to go to the glossary, because a lot of these terms, you hear them come up all the time, and you might think you know what they mean, but do you really? Dr. Ann Creekmore joins us today on the program. How are you doing?
Great, Steve. How are you?
Very well. I love thumbing through your book. And there's always something I take away. And I've said this before. This is like the manual for life. If you need to navigate life, relationships, all that, it's right here in the book. It's right here in the book. And
I tried.
It really is insightful. There's a glossary at the back of the book. And I'm just going to randomly pull up different terms, and let's go into them and what they mean, and then apply them to maybe potentially our lives and such. Assertiveness. I'm starting with A. Assertiveness. We hear that word come up. You need to assert yourself some more. How do you define assertiveness?
And if you don't mind, I might look at my book to see, since I did, have 16 drafts on it, probably to get it.
Please do.
Versus off the top of my head. But off of the top of my head, when I'm looking, it's the healthy form of communication, whereby one person is sharing about themselves, saying what you need to do, and letting the other person understand your own feelings and needs without insulting them or threatening them, because there are different ways of communicating which are not so healthy. But the I messages, where you kind of just describe an incident, and say, when this happens, I feel this way because it's affecting me this way, maybe having a little idea of a small behavior request change. Like, would you consider that maybe when you say that my feelings get hurt or something like that, small change that the person might consider. So it's the healthy way of communicating. Versus a you message and telling somebody off and insulting them or threatening.
Interesting, because you hear the word assertiveness, and it almost sounds, lack of a better description here, somewhat aggressive. I'm asserting myself.
No.
It's not so much. It's you're speaking about yourself this is what I'm getting from you, as opposed to saying, and you did this and you did that. And because of that, I feel this way. It's more of I feel this way because of our situation and some of the things that transpired. So you're asserting yourself in the conversation.
Exactly. That's the healthy way. And then the person can be empathic to you because they know what you're feeling and thinking and needing, versus them just knowing that you think they're wrong, and they're not doing good, which doesn't help them in a lot of ways either.
So we have iMessage.
Mm-hmm.
You said that just a moment ago. I have some thoughts on that. Tell us essentially what iMessage is.
Okay. An iMessage has a little format to it. It's like when, WHEN, and then you describe the incident or situation you're concerned about. And then the next part is to say, then I feel. So when somebody runs late and I am waiting, for them to come at our time, we said that's the incident. Then I feel alone. I feel unappreciated, disappointed, worried. That's the feelings. So you put, then I feel my feelings. And then the last part is because I don't know what's the impact on you, because I don't know whether the person's coming. Should I wait? Are they okay? What's going on? So it's kind of described just staying focused on the small incident and then your feelings about it and then why you feel that way. And then the last part would be to ask when, after they hear, they may respond, say, I'm so sorry, I should have texted you or whatever, that I was running late. Then you could say, well, would you consider that I do feel really upset if I don't know? And would you consider maybe just making sure if you think you're going to be late, text me, call me. That'd be a small request.
Is the I message also that term I am? Like I am resilient. I am creative. I am worthy. Is that also part of it?
Well, I was using it in the book primarily as just a form of communication versus being passive and not saying anything, or being aggressive and telling you're doing this wrong, or passive aggressive, just rolling your eyes and not talking to them. This is the I message is it's just a little format. But of course, there's what you were talking about, which we can talk some more about I am, which is making affirmations related to cognitive behavioral therapy, cognitive being thought therapy, changing your thoughts, changing your self-talk to enhance yourself and bring yourself to a calm level where you feel, confident and valued, through your inner talk. So that's another thing, the I am affirmations. That's under affirmations. We could, in the gloss.
Okay. There it is right there. Positive statements you make to yourself, inspiring messages that uplift you emotionally and guide you to think positively about yourself and your life. For example, I am good and I have and deserve good things in my life. I passed over that one and I apologize. So there you go.
No, you did great, because it's very important. That's supposedly the most effective form of therapy is cognitive therapy, changing your self-talk. You can use it for anxiety, you use it for depression, for any type of problem. Those affirmations are vital, that you catch your negative self-talk, that you wouldn't say to a friend or even an enemy, probably something negative you're saying to yourself.
For sure.
And stop it, and you put in the affirmations to enhance yourself and pep yourself to be able to function like you do for a friend. Yeah.
I'll tell you, 5 years ago, in my journey, I probably wouldn't have been able to do affirmations. I just wouldn't get it, wouldn't see the vision. The affirmations I just gave you really came from me. It wasn't even just an example.
Yeah, that's
because
wonderful.
It's the best way I could do it.
Right.
I've realized in the last number of years, I am resilient. I am worthy.
Yes.
I am creative.
Yes. Own it. Own all the good.
All right. Now I'm going to flip it around. You always do this to me, and I've been already on the therapist couch. So I'm going to flip it to you. Give me 3 Ann Creekmore affirmations about yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say, that I am worthy. Negative self-talk that I might have might be to say something negative. Oh, well, what you're doing isn't worthwhile, which I think of as the lazy ego telling me, don't worry about it. Don't bother to try. It's kind of our little mind games. We can trick ourselves. But for me to say, no, everything I'm doing is worthwhile. I am worthy, and I am good enough, to share and do those things. That would be so.
All right. So interesting. Before you deeply went down the road of psychotherapy, helping people, did you wonder, like in the beginning, am I worthy enough to help others this way? I don't want to say, lacking confidence, but maybe you wondered, could you give that statement? I am worthy and strong in the therapy I offer others. I am grateful to change their lives. In the very beginning, would you have been able to say that?
No, I would not. I mean, in fact, I was always interested. I think I started reading Freud and Jung when I was 12 years old, Carl Jung. So I was always very interested, but I didn't feel I had the confidence. Our family maybe didn't have the words of affirmation, or they had, spouting off things that, a child can take negatively. Like if you're called, oh, why did you do that? Oh, you ruined something, or, whatever it is, you internalize it as a child. And it wasn't until I got into graduate school, I was getting my doctorate, and we were required to do our own therapy with a therapist, and they set it up. Because we want to make sure that we work through our issues, not bringing them into the therapy room as a therapist. And I was doing this Gestalt inner child working through thing. And the images that were coming up, it was like, it made me realize that I just did not feel smart at all. And so I was in my image, she was asking me to do some things, and I had to put a hat on the head. It's a visual image Gestalt therapy kind of thing. And I put on a top hat, and I started to feel like, oh, wow, maybe I am smart. And then I thought to myself, I was like, well, if you're in a doctoral program and you're about to get your degree, you probably are smart enough. But I literally did not even think I was really smart until I got the therapy and kind of worked through that issue. So I was still, if I hadn't done that, I've been walking in with a lot of knowledge, but not much confidence still. But the therapy helped me.
I totally get what you're saying. Like I believe that personally, everybody's got a story, that I would have moved my career along so much faster and in different directions if I didn't lack confidence in the beginning. And people never saw it, but they thought, yeah, you got to go. And I'm not. No. That's why if you can start doing this work on yourself early, what a difference it makes.
Exactly. It's always important to work on yourself and mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. We don't know it though when we're younger. We're out having fun with friends, partying, whatever, working a little bit. Metaphysics in the glossary.
Yes.
How do you define?
Well, do you want to start reading, or do you want me to?
Related to quantum theory in physics, which explains that invisible physical laws impact or influence our physical reality, a worldview that allows you to create your life the way you want it to be based on information about your spirit and how it works. So go deeper on that. Give us examples. I have some in this. I would say that the majority of podcasts I do are metaphysical. I think that says it right there. Go deep, metaphysics.
Can I ask you a question? Like, as usual?
Sure.
When you say, I love what you just said, and then I will answer, but what did you mean that most of your podcasts are metaphysical? Are we including this one or specific types of podcasts?
This included, I put that in the wheelhouse of self-help, but with a spiritual connection.
Yes.
So it could be a therapist. It could be a life coach. It could be energy healing. It could be a psychic. It could be an astrologer.
Yes.
I don't just do those, but I would have to say like 80% would be, and the others would be, creative people like interior designers and things like that. But the majority is within the metaphysical umbrella.
Absolutely. The metaphysical, I relate that to in my book, The Visionary. Kind of like in our whole person needs, we maybe didn't learn that we're to take care of ourselves, mind, body, spirit, or physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, will, our, reality, responsibilities, and so on. We kind of don't really focus in as much on the visionary, the positive self-talk that goes with the affirmations. And that can be coming from that place of realizing at a secular level, from cognitive behavioral therapy, that if you make if you talk about yourself positively, or you talk about somebody else positively, it's bound to grow into a positive experience more likely than if you're sitting there coming with darkness and negativity. You're really not going to create something necessarily good from that, whether you're doing it to yourself or you're doing it to the situation. It's kind of like at a more spiritual or religious level, it would be like our thoughts or prayers that we will, what we're saying, we are creating. that it will influence us. It will raise our serotonin as well, our positive neurotransmitter. It's one of the therapies for depression, cognitive behavioral therapy, working on. But you can also look at it as a metaphysical, like a law underlying the thoughts, that the law is that we are connecting to spirit, if you will, or to our spiritual place, our sacred place inside that connects to love and peace, and that we are connecting to that and putting out our thoughts, which affects our behaviors and others' behaviors, our talk, in it from that place. So it's like almost a law, a metaphysical law that they called it, like, for example, the law of attraction. Attracts like. You can look at it as having that underlying spiritual basis to cognitive behavioral therapy, and metaphysical a basis for it.
Interestingly, in my journey, I was doing the metaphysical thing 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was working with psychics, and I didn't ask for it. It just came my way, and then came another one, and then started launching their careers. And I'm talking named psychics, media-wise, launching their careers. So I learned a lot along the way. Then I was part of the launch of a worldwide metaphysical website. This is going back around 2010. So all of that stuff, the Reiki, chakras, all of that. It was like I was going to school. I was getting paid going to school, learning about that. And then here I am today doing podcasts about the same thing. So it's been years in the making, and I feel that that's how the universe works. Like, I didn't know, I was being groomed then for now and along the way.
Exactly.
We've mentioned this before, but since we're doing the Creekmore glossary today, spirituality. We don't even have to look in the glossary.
Right.
Just so we're all on the same page. Please define it.
Okay, it's like connecting to good, to source, whatever that may be, your higher power, your higher self, your higher philosophy, something that transcends everyday material life, that gives you a sense of hope and faith in that you have purpose in life, and that you're creating, that you are good, and that you're connected to good and can create a good life for yourself and others.
And it's not just about religion. If you want it to be, it can, but it doesn't have to be, right?
Exactly. It could be, it could be any religion. It could be any spirituality, because people get attracted for whatever reasons, for what works for them, or any philosophy, then it can be metaphysics, affirmations. It doesn't have to be anything specific. We're all kind of trying to reach to that spot within, that sacred space within, where we feel connected to good and to source, to hope, purpose. Mm-hmm.
Close to that is truth. And I find it interesting that you included that in the glossary. Truth. Mm-hmm. You, the truth of you, who you really are, your deepest needs and capacities. I guess that would be your truth.
Yes, absolutely. Right. That's so important for people to not be externally oriented. I mean, we have to be externally oriented, take care of stuff in life, sure, but to kind of be able to get to who we really are as whole, fulfilled people, and maybe what our real, we're all snowflakes, right? We all have our mission, and we want to be our authentic self and reach to our truth. And when you do that, things work out, because you're doing your mission, your purpose.
I've learned in the last number of years that I pilot by truth. I always did, but had that reality, that wake up, that the truth is the truth. And I don't mean just our truth, but just in general. The truth is the truth. I mean, the true truth. Nobody can dispute it. If somebody, well, you did this, blah, blah. Whoa, wait a minute. These are the facts. I'm writing on the facts.
Right.
Removing the emotion and just focusing on what is true. Those are, you can't change. You can try and skew it. You can, move it in your direction if you want to, the truth. Is it a bad thing to look at it that way and remove the emotion and just center on the facts sometimes?
Absolutely not. I mean, what we all need is to get to that calm inner peace place if we can. I mean, that's what we strive for, feeling good positive emotions, being calm, emotional regulation, as they say, because they find that you don't, your IQ, you don't even have your intellectual logical faculties if you get angry or you're emotional. You just lose some of your IQ. You go down 2 standard deviations, and you're not playing with the full deck. So why even try to attempt something then? Why not just distract yourself, say some positive things, breathe, and get yourself back up so you can approach a situation with, full logical brain. And so, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely.
It's amazing. Like in a situation, you could get caught in like a tornado and you're in the middle of it. And that's part of your emotions and the truth and the emotions and the truth and the truth and the emotions. And you're like, as you try to navigate.
Yeah, right. How can you think then, right?
Right. But then when you take that moment and step outside of the tornado for just a second and say, well, okay, this is what just happened. I did this. You did that. They did whatever it is. And it's the true truth, not you bending it.
Right.
It gives you a totally different perspective. It's now I understand when they say the truth will set you free. It's like, whoa, okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And so then you can move into your good at all times. If you can step back from the negative thinking and then all the negative emotions that conjures up and you're in this cyclone, like you said, and you can't think straight, if you can get back to that calm, then you can get to the truth, which I believe, and I believe you believe, is good, that we are good and that we can create good. It's just being able to get back to that place to do so all the time, as much as we can.
I cannot believe, I'm shocked. We have like a minute left.
Uh-oh.
How did that, I have like thumbing through here.
We can do it next time too.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Vibes. I wanted to, that's in your glossary.
Yes.
And before I say anything, just define, you don't even have to look at it. Define vibes. What do we mean by that?
I think in the book it's better described. So get my book. It's under my maiden name, Filosa.
Sure. Oh, yeah, 100%.
But I'm talking to everybody. But because one thing I just looked at, since you said we might do that and you bring it up, that vibes is 2 things. Vibes to me are 2 things. One is the vibes of our in the sense that our thinking, our self-talk creates reality. So we're putting our vibes out, by what we say, because it affects our emotions to be positive or negative. And we're very emotional. We're not doing positive actions. And then but if we put the positive out, we can create the best out of a situation and the outcome's going to be better. So it's like that, our thoughts are prayers, the prayer is putting it out to see the good back. And then also vibes can be, I think, what you brought up about the intuition, going with the flow, of just what you pick up. You got your logical mind, you got your intuitive mind or your right brain mind. And when you go and pick up on things with your intuition, that's picking up on vibes. I call it.
I think it's vibes is short for vibration or vibrations. And that's what we all put out, our energy. When somebody says, man, you have good energy, because that person is putting out a vibration that somebody else picks up on. And when we talk about energy in general, like when you say, somebody has surgery coming up, hey, I'm sending positive vibes. It could be on the other side of the world. You're sending a vibration of positive energy.
And they found affects it actually from the studies with the quantum physics that something here can affect something over there. There's energy that's affecting things. So we want to always shine the light and shine the good, send the vibe of love, and then ask for love back and create that.
It's funny. I love reggae. And, for years you'd hear like Bob Marley and other artists say, hey man, positive vibes. And Bob Marley actually has a song, Positive Vibration. And now I understand that that's what they were sending. They were already talking about this back in the early 70s, you know.
Right, absolutely.
Wow. Or Beach Boys. There's a 60s song.
Good vibrations.
Good
Yeah.
vibrations, right. And we're
Right, exactly.
positivity. I'm still shocked that we're out of time. The book is Love Yourself, Love Your Life. AP Filosa is her pen name. Certainly you can find that and more. And even if you want to do a session or even a conversation about a session, this is all just a piece of what she offers to help people. And how do we find you again?
The easiest way is just to go to Psychology Today. It's a directory of psychologists, and you can look me up, Ann Creekmore, Dr. Ann Creekmore, and it will, if you click one, and then it'll show my link right into my website. So you can find my phone number, my email, my practice, my whole person from the psychotherapy practice and what I do. So, and you can contact me that way.
I love what you do and the way you do it.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah,
you too.
You're amazing. You really are. And the book is just so easy to understand. If you're trying to figure out this thing that we call life or who you are, as we talked about, I am, check out the book or start a conversation. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, appreciate it. And well, I don't know if we're going to talk before the new year, but if I missed that, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ann Creekmore. I want you to know that you have the power to shine your light and be a magnificent, authentic person that you are in your mind, body, and spirit, and to have a wonderful, fulfilled life. I have written several books, but the one I'm sharing about is Love Yourself, Love Your Life. I want you to have that book so you can start healing the emotional wounds of the past and release any negative subconscious beliefs that are holding you back so you can become the whole, fulfilled, happy person you're meant to be. Please feel free to contact me. You can find me on Psychology Today, which links into my website. Thank you. Blessings and love.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her, just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP, we help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.